I'm Joe Hagan, President and CEO of the National Equity Fund, and we believe that extraordinary things happen when we have great partners. Take a look at the impact made by JP Morgan Chase and the Plymouth Housing Group and the Pat Williams Apartments located in Seattle, Washington.
At the Pat Williams Apartments, our goal here is to keep people stable. We have 81 apartments for people coming in out of homelessness. Along with that, we provide support services, 24-hour desk, case management services to help people heal and survive and be off the streets. We take time as we're developing the project to become part of the neighborhood. When we found the site for the Pat Williams Apartments, there was an abandoned building, an abandoned house on the site. As we started the work, we found several men living in the building. But you know what? It was their home for many years. And what we're really excited about is that one of the gentlemen that was living in that building during that time, a year later, moved into the Pat Williams Apartments.
I've never really had a home until now. I try to stay away from my family. I took care of them. But as they got older, they started hanging around the streets, and they were just getting into too much into the drug scene for me. Just didn't want to end up like that. Well, one day I just found myself with a job that I had for 17 years, and I found myself drinking a lot more. Once again, I found myself on the streets, and oddly enough, this neighborhood is the one that I moved into.
The supporting housing model that Plymouth provides is so important because we've known over the years that if you bring somebody out of homelessness with the multiple issues they're dealing with and simply place them in an apartment, they fail. But what's really important is to have the support service necessary for people to remain in housing. And so we want to make sure that there's activities going on, that there's support for them, that they build community within the building, and that this becomes their permanent home for the long term.
Nice to get into a place where people help you and get yourself into a more sheltered environment. I've straightened out my life. I'm no longer homeless. I do some my writing and some artwork. And that's basically what I want to get back into.
What I like especially about the National Equity Fund is I think they really care about our mission, that they have staff there that really get supportive housing.
It takes a lot of people to put together and structure these deals. And that's what we're all about, is working together and bringing as many partners in so you end up with the best affordable housing that you can get done. We have raised over $10 billion over the last 25 years. We've invested in 2,200 different developments, and we've produced over 150,000 units. It's pretty extraordinary.
Our hope for people living at Pat Williams Apartments is that they're done being homeless, that this is their permanent home, that they're going to live here long term, around the supports that they need, and just be successful in life.
I'm Delbert Conrad George. I am now 60 years old, and I have finally found a home. I will keep it my home as long as it is here. And I thank the people for welcoming me here.
I was homeless for 9 months to save my life because I was a battered woman. Nobody should be homeless. It's really tragic for anyone to be homeless. I wake up in the morning and say, thank God that I am alive. Thank you for this day, and thank you for Sigmund Torrent.
I'm Joe Hagan, President and CEO of the National Equity Fund, and we believe that extraordinary things happen when we have great partners. Take a look at the impact made by Bank of America and Community Housing Partnership in the Zygmunt Arendt House in San Francisco.
Zygmunt Arendt House is a truly unique property for us. It is dedicated to seniors 62 and older, all who previously were either living in shelter or living on the streets here in San Francisco. Community Housing Partnership's mission is to help homeless people secure housing and become self-sufficient. And we do this by having a model of permanent housing with enriched services, focusing on self-sufficiency, workforce, and tenant engagement. The key to any partnership and supportive housing project moving forward is always the investor.
In 2008, Bank of America made a $4.5 million investment in RN House, located in San Francisco, California. This development is special because it is targeted towards seniors who are formerly homeless in the San Francisco area. We felt that this investment would be extremely impactful in the community. We have invested with the National Equity Fund since 1988, and we are reaching the $1 billion mark right now.
My life before was good till I met my aggressor. I quit my job because I was being battered. I could not go to work because I had black eyes. Each one of us here have plenty of baggages. Some people just, they turn homeless because they lost their job. And some people are running away, like me.
It is one of the biggest highlights of being the executive director of this organization is walking into a property and meeting individuals who once were hopeless, who once were languishing in situations where they couldn't move their lives forward, and seeing them thriving, seeing them happy, seeing them get their needs met. It's one of the reasons that for the past 20 years I've been doing this work.
Now nothing is hindering me from doing anything. Now I am independent. I just want to be happy now. Especially now, I have a place to live. They have built a community here, and I'm part of it.
I'm proud to work for Bank of America because I can see what we do in the communities, and I get to see the impact on people's lives.
We have raised over $10 billion over the last 25 years. We've invested in 2,200 different developments, and we've produced over 150,000 units. It's pretty extraordinary.
My name is Nomi, and Sigmund Arendt is my home. I would live my life here because I've given a second chance. And thanks to Sigmund Arendt, I'm good to go.
Hello, I'm Joe Hagan, President and CEO of the National Equity Fund, and we believe that extraordinary things happen when we have great partners. Take a look at the impact made by TD Bank and Community Access in the Vice Avenue apartments located in the Bronx.
The Vice Avenue apartments, we have 64 studio units for people who had previously been living in hospitals and some referrals also from shelters. So for a lot of people, it might be the first time they've had a home in quite a long time. This particular housing development was for people who had been in Bronx Psychiatric Center. We don't try to get people better before they give them housing. We try to get people into housing, and then our staff here work with people to reconnect them to community life.
One of the great things about working with Community Access is that each of these apartments comes fully furnished. And when you are talking about the residents that Community Access is working with, you are talking about people who have probably lost all of their possessions. They show up with a blanket and a shopping bag.
I was homeless 11 years in different shelters prior to coming here. I had a fire and was burnt out, and due to the fact that my children were grown, you get referred to a shelter. I was discharged from Bronx Psychiatric Center for bipolar disorder and depression. It's something so simple that having a clean drink of cold water. You don't have that being homeless, but you have it when you have stability at home.
Having the Vice Avenue apartments available really just creates all these opportunities to help people just become citizens again. This is a regular apartment building with the added feature that we have 24-hour front desk. So there's always somebody to provide assistance or just to greet people.
This is the complete opposite of institutionalization. Each tenant in that building is entitled to services that help them get on track. And it's so important to have that there for them. So when you come into a building, very often what you hear people say is something like, I got my life back.
Getting the keys to my home, my apartment here at Community Access, was a great feeling. It was a wonderful feeling of secureness. Having a facility where there are other people around you that if you feel any irregularity or depression, whatever, you have someone there immediately that can help you solve whatever it is you're feeling. It has given me the chance, like I said, to move on with my life, to have thoughts and dreams of having a better life.
We want to be very involved in our investments in our projects, and we want to work with syndicators who respect that we would like to have a closer connection to the work and the projects that are being developed. And NEF is very comfortable with that.
Having valuable partners like TD Bank and NEF to come in and make the whole project real is extremely important.
It takes a lot of people to put together and structure these deals. And that's what we're all about, is working together and bringing as many partners in so you end up with the best affordable housing that you can get done. We have raised over $10 billion over the last 25 years. We've invested in 2,200 different developments, and we've produced over 150,000 units. Pretty extraordinary.
Living here at Vice Avenue Apartments has given me the thoughts of going on and making plans with my life. Compared to being homeless, not being able to plan, I just think it's the greatest thing in the world to have your own place. My name is Catherine, and this is my home.